Georgia's won 4 straight games. Saskatchewan snapped a 5-game losing streak last week. 2 teams sitting at 6 and 8, fighting for a final playoff spot in the March to May. They meet next. From the Gas South Arena in Metro Atlanta, all of a sudden, Week 19 matchup between the Saskatchewan Rush and the Georgia Swarm. High-level playoff implications. The National Lacrosse League is live on ESPN+. We go right to the Western Conference standings. Saskatchewan knows that a win tonight and a Colorado loss, and they'll tie the Mammoth in the standings. Meanwhile, in the East, Georgia still with a shot as well. A win tonight, they'll move into a 3-way tie with Halifax and Philadelphia. And hello again, everybody. Thanks for joining us from Sting City here in Duluth, Georgia. Back alongside my broadcast partner, Brandon Joseph, here with a play-by-play story this evening. I'm Chris Mooneyham. Storylines, plenty tonight. Saskatchewan, one set at 5-3 on the year, lost 5 in a row last week. They got an overtime victory to snap that losing streak. Robert Church to the rescue.
Yeah, all the hands of Robert Church, the overtime winner last week against Vancouver. He leads the teams in goals and points, and Robert Church is the do-all guy. He's actually a sock trick away from 300 career goals for his career, and for Church, the offense runs through him. Everybody knows that, but he still has an innate ability to create opportunities to score.
And Church also 3 points from the 700 career plateau. Meanwhile, Andrew Q has been a man offensively that's been leading the Swarm's resurgence. 4 wins in a row, 6 out of the last 7.
Yeah, and in those last 4 games, all wins for the Swarm. 32 points for Andrew Q. He has been the guy. When all the attention is paid to Lyle Thompson, he has stepped up and added in the goal-scoring ability that this team has needed.
Yeah, Andrew Q, to the surprise of many, leads the club in goals, assists, and points as well. So a playoff matchup basically coming up next in Metro Atlanta on ESPN+. Back in Metro Atlanta, the Swarm and the Rush getting together here at Sting City. Let's head right down to the floor where Andrew Q is joining us. Andrew, we talked to Coach Eddie Comeau during the week. He said basically we've been in playoff mode the last 7 weeks. How do you keep up that momentum?
Yeah, I think we've got to come out, just win the first 5 minutes, come out flying here. You know, we're going to need good goaltending from Dauber, good defense, and we're going to pick up a lot of ground balls, and yeah, we got to start the first 5 really fast.
Andrew, this team has won 6 of their last 7. All those games that you've won or tied in the first quarter. What do you have to do to get off on a hot start against a Saskatchewan team that's fighting for their playoff lives?
Yeah, I think we've got to do the little things, be first to ground balls, get some repossessions on the offensive side, just come out flying and play with intensity in the first 5 minutes here.
Go get him, Andrew. Thank you.
Thanks.
Time now to meet our goaltenders, the guaranteed rate starting goaltenders.
Alex Bouquet, he's going to be between the pipes for the Rush. He is a blocker personified, 11 goals against average, 76.8 save percentage. He doesn't like necessarily to move left or right. That's what the Swarm are going to have to do tonight to get shots on Bouquet.
Meanwhile, Brett Dobson, the reigning goaltending rookie of the week.
Yeah, 83.92 save percentage in the last 4 games. He has really taken that rookie stripe off and has played like a veteran. You can't help but think it's due to Mike Poulin, now bench side, able to get in his ear as the game progresses.
And so the opening face-off in a veritable playoff game. Week number 19 of the National Lacrosse League is underway. A couple of clubs at 6 and 8, as we mentioned in the opener. Georgia just 2 and 5 here at home this year. Conversely, Saskatchewan 2 and 5 on the road. Georgia donning the all blue, obviously. Saskatchewan in the gray with their legendary green and black trim. Georgia winners of 4 straight with possession open the ball game. 6 of their last 7. Q! Andrew Q, 8 points from 200 career, the 39th tally of the year.
Pre-game mojo, that's what you get when you talk to us pre-game.
That's right.
Get that early rub out there for Andrew Q. He's actually done it the last 5 games now for the Georgia Swarm. This winning streak is greatly in part because of Andrew Q. And it all comes from that off-ball movement. He comes able to get in front of Bouquet after he shakes Bernardo right in front of the net. He's able to get a clean look.
It's been a complete flip of the script for Georgia. The first 7 games of the year for Georgia, 14 goals allowed, 9.7 scored. First 7 games, 14 per ball game allowed, 9.7 scored. Meanwhile, in the last 7 ball games, 14 scored, 9 allowed. How about that flipped of the script? And there you see the overall goal differential in the last 7 games of 2022-23. And so, Andrew Q tallies his team leading 39th goal of the year, and Georgia draws first blood here in Metro Atlanta.
And this is what the Swarm have done so much better as of late. You see that off-ball movement, give themselves a lot of opportunity to get guys running free. A lot of great dodging by Swarm players. And also the pressure. Lyle Thompson trailing the play. Aaron pass from Bouquet. Now the Swarm, they get their offensive players back on the floor and create another opportunity. This is what they've done so well early in the contest. No pun intended. They've swarmed the opponent and have come out really gainfully in the first quarter.
A little pun intended.
Slight pun.
All right. That pass deflected, and Saskatchewan has their first true possession of this ball game. A Rush club that, as I mentioned, 6-8 overall, 2-5 on the road. Set at 2-1 on the year, 5-3, but of those 3 losses, 2 were in overtime. They were one of the great stories through the first half of our season. Then came the 5-game losing streak. A couple of ball games where they were smoked, a couple of close ones as well. A great save by Brett Dobson, the rookie.
Yeah, Dauber, he's played really well. As of late, we mentioned the save percentage over the last 4 games. It really has just come down to trusting his instincts and moving last.
That 5-game losing streak, we touched on it in the opener. Robert Church netting the golden goal in a 12-11 overtime victory over Vancouver last week. Oh, great look right down in front. Wiedemann can't quite finish it off. And here comes the rush.
Yeah, unable to get the goal, but that's good movement, a great look. I'm sure that the Georgia Swarm staff will be very happy with that opportunity, even though it didn't pay dividends, that their early game plan is paying off and really forcing Saskatchewan to guess defensively and what they need to do.
Rush offensively averaging 11.3 goals per ball game. Got 13 players with 10 or more goals scored so far this year. That's a really impressive number. TJ Camizio down on the turf. He'll pop up and gingerly head back over to his bench. Georgia has it back.
There's really no other way to describe the way the Swarm has been playing other than they've treated every possession on the offense and defensive end as if it was overtime.
Yep.
The way they played with such intensity on the defensive end, on the offensive end, even when they're missing shots, trailing plays.
Jared Smith right into the breadbasket. One rookie to the other. Dobson equal to the task.
And that guy, Brett Dobson, no free lunches from Dauber.
Brett Dobson. 42 saves, 44 saves, I beg your pardon. Only allowed 5 goals against Halifax over last weekend. There you see Georgia with the longest active winning streak in the league.
Aaron pass.
The pickoff for Kyle Rubish. Kyle, number 1 all-time league history caused turnovers.
Looks like we're gonna have a
delayed call.
Look like as Shane Jackson's trying to leave the floor, we got a penalty coming on Saskatchewan. Maybe it looks like a slash.
We got a great crew on hand here today as well. First, let's get the call.
Saskatchewan penalty, 2 minutes slashing.
Yep, so that'll send Keenan to the pine. Ryan Keenan, who's playing in his 94th career game this year, this week, by the way. Let's get another look.
Unnecessary down there. I don't think it was the hardest of contact, but enough. And you see the reaction from Ryan Keenan, but you do the crime, you sit in the sin bin.
So Georgia on the one-man advantage. They've been very, very good this year on the power play. In fact, that has been part of their resurgence as well. Got off to a slow start this year on the power play, but man alive, have they been aces over the last month and a half, 2 months. Shane Jackson nets the power play goal. Chaco with goal number 25 of the year.
Yeah, you better talk quick when the Georgia Swarm are on the power play. Just great ball movement. You see the box formation defensively for the rush. But Jackson, he's walking in. As they get the guys moving to your screen left side, you see Jacko start moving in and creeping towards Bouquet. And Ryan Dilks took one extra step and allowed Jackson all the space he needed to capitalize and get the angle on Alex Bouquet.
A lot of folks may not realize Georgia #1 in the league in power play conversion. They're now 36 of 61 on the year. Better than 58% for 2022-23. And now a 2-0 lead for the home squad. Reese Dutch. Could not wait to see Dutch here this week. Just a second opportunity for this broadcast crew. We'll talk more about the history for these two teams when meeting each other coming up a little later. But first, Mike Manley going to have to back out as Saskatchewan does a good job of getting back out on the floor defensively. 19th all-time meeting between the two programs, 9-9 in the previous 18.
On that transition, Mike Manley, he scored a goal 2 games ago against the Riptide, had an opportunity against Halifax, missed everything, but he likes that transition play. If he's able to jump a pass and try to get out there, Mike Manley has no fear in trying to take that shot.
He's a New York State trooper, Manley, so doesn't have the word fear in his vocabulary. Seth Oakes scooped one up. Oh, Seth careened into the boards by 2 men in rush colors. Official looks over the top of him and says, let's keep playing.
In football, we'd give a half tackle to both the rush players on that play. But that's what the rush need to do. They need to try to match the physicality.
What a move. What a couple of moves by Church. The Indy has to give it up. 8:45 mark coming up during the possession. Matthews. Mark Matthews shot on top of the right toe of Dauber, who was equal to the task. Resetting of the shot clock.
And to go back to that move by Church, it was a great cutback move by Church, but Dobson didn't leave that near side. And that's what Church was looking for. He was looking to try to bait Dobson into trying to jump the cross-floor pass. Dobson didn't move. Church had no opportunity, and that really snuffed out that play there. And now ultimately, the Swarm looked to get possession.
Still loose. Georgia comes up with another loose ball. Stop me if you've heard this before, but that's yet another category where Georgia's numbers have climbed incredibly over the last month and a half, 2 months, as they've started their winning ways. Shane Jackson, left-handed shot, hits off the pipe, scooped up. Here comes the push. Barnable gives off. Matthews, a ripper that goes careening off the backboard into the back of the cage. And that'll draw us to the first TV timeout. Georgia with a 2-0 lead. They use the league's best power play unit, at least scoring-wise, to notch their second tally. Is Andrew Q, and it's Shane Jackson. And it's 2-0, Georgia. The March to May is brought to you by NLLshop.com, a Fanatics experience, officially licensed everything. And by Guaranteed Rate, now more than ever, you need the best. 2-0 Georgia out in front of Saskatchewan here in the capital of the South. Let's take a look at the schedule from across Week 19 of the National Lacrosse League. Albany already with a 1-0 lead on the Nighthawks, who have now lost 3 straight. That's an interesting development. Albany may be looking forward to next year. Big one between Colorado and Vancouver, at least for the Mammoth, that is. San Diego trying to clinch the #1 seed with a win and a loss by the Riggers. Oh, great look. Bomberry! A little finesse for the Bomber.
Waste no time after the stoppage of play. Brendan Bomberry off of the great feed by Seth Oakes.
Now, last week, Bomberry really starting to find himself. That's his 17th of the year, as you see. Last week, 4 goals and 3 assists against Halifax. His numbers have absolutely exploded, Brandon. We talked about him in great detail earlier in the year. Now, he was getting off to a little bit of a slow start. It was hard for him to find his rhythm. He admitted as much to us in one of our meetings down in the tunnels on a couple of separate occasions. But man alive, again, you look at Bomber's numbers now, 17 goals, 28 assists. He's been killer on the power play so far this year. He's really started to find his groove.
And it was so beautiful it made my voice crack.
Again.
But the Swarm right off the face-off again, getting possession back. Face-offs don't really mean anything unless you have a guy that can win face-offs, and that's what the Swarm have in Jeremy Thompson. And you see it paying dividends, especially early in the game. A lot of these goals are followed up by winning the face-off and getting possession and keeping that offensive pressure on. And I think that's been huge to this turnaround for the Swarm. It's been great defense in all situations, but also just once you light the fire, just keep it going.
Dutch. Reese Dutch. Acquired in early March from Colorado, of course, for a conditional 3rd or perhaps 2nd round pick. Saved by Dobson. Georgia has it back. As I mentioned a little earlier, 19th all-time meeting between the two clubs. Last meeting, late January 2019. A 13-10 Swarm victory. Georgia jumped out to a 5-0 lead. Chased Evan Kirk in that one. Georgia led throughout. Rush would mount a comeback, climbed to within 12-10. The waning moments before an empty netter from Georgia would put that one away. How about these names? Jeff Shatler dropped a 7-point night with 2 goals. Randy Stotch led the Swarm's offense with 2 goals and 7 assists. Oh, baby. It's like a different era for these two teams, wasn't it? And in fact, in some ways it was. Neither team's made the postseason since that 2019 season. Lots changed. Georgia would go on to lose in the opening round of the East playoffs to Toronto right down in front. Gets past Dobbs. What an amazing move. Timing across the crease. And the goal for Austin Madronic. Well, they really love what Madronic can be moving forward. The rookie makes it 3-1.
And Madronic did all the work himself to create that goal opportunity. Take a look here. Madronic going to clear out on the backside, create the opportunity for himself once he knocks Ethan Riggs out of the way. And then comes right across the face of Dobson and gets the first of the night for the Rush.
Madronic's 11th of the year. They're going to take a look at it. Yes, indeed. In fact, Eddie Como is going to challenge it. For now, it's Madronic's 11th of the year to go along with 10 assists. You know, he's 7th in the league, by the way, Brandon, in points for rookies. 6th overall selection last year out of Harvard.
Georgia's challenging the ruling of a good goal called on the field. The previous play is under further review.
So plain and simple, what Georgia's challenging here is under the belief of the Georgia Swarm coaching staff. Austin Madronic landed in the crease before the ball passed over the line and get past Brett Dobson. We'll take a look here. That first step, hard to tell if he's on the white or not, but then the landing, the ball looks like it may be passed before he drops a knee in the crease, but that first step is going to be huge.
How about his toe? Right there.
And that's the point of contention, because the goal from that point is good. It's that first step.
Good. If his left toe or big toe left foot is not on the line. There's Eddie Como, 6th season, as you see, as the head man for the Swarm. Eddie, one of only 6 coaches to have ever won 100 games in the league. Matter of fact, he's sitting on 120. He needs 2 wins to pass Darius Kilgore for 2nd on the all-time list at 122. He's won 70-plus ball games for the Swarm. There you see the Brain Trust in stripes, taking a look at it. What do you think? You think this stands?
It's going to be really tough to see if there is any indisputable video evidence. Remember, they have to be clear. There has to be definitive evidence, because it was called good on the floor,
right,
that Madronic's foot was on the crease line, the white line. And again, this is why players tend to wear white shoes, make it a little bit tougher to overturn a call. I think he's just short of that crease line, honestly. I think the goal will stand as a good goal.
Sorry about that, Brandon. By the way, you saw Jimmy Quinlan a moment ago. Back quarter of his first full season as the Rush head coach. Of course, he took over late last season. Jeff McComb was relieved of his duties. Quinlan was, of course, serving as an assistant coach at the time. He knows a little bit about this franchise, as many of you know. As a bearded man myself, I can appreciate that silver accented beard, by the way. 3-1 for the moment, 5:36 mark. First quarter here in Duluth, Georgia. Northeast corridor, the sprawling Atlanta Metroplex. We may be close to a decision now. There you see our officiating crew. As I mentioned a little earlier, a good one at that.
Now you're going to get a clear look there. You can see our official zooming in.
Fans, want to remind you to get game day ready. Shop your favorite team's jerseys and merchandise. Head to NLLshop.com to get all your National Lacrosse League and team gear today.
After review, the call on the field is confirmed. We have a good goal. Georgia's charged with the
That
first
home
half
crowd
foul.
doesn't like it, but I think that's the right call.
Yeah, the verbiage confirmed. I think that shot of Madronik stepping, you can kind of see a little bit of green in between his foot and the white of the crease.
So Saskatchewan on the board. The 11th tally of the year from the rookie Austin Madronik. If you're just tuning in, thanks for joining us. For your home of the National Lacrosse League, we're on ESPN Plus this evening. Brandon Joseph, the man to my right. I'm Chris Mooneyham. Wind up and fire, saved by Bouquet. Now, by some measurables, this could be arguably the best year of Bouquet's career. And by the way, he's 35 minutes shy of 4,000 for his career. We'll talk more about him in just a moment when he rejoins us on the screen once Georgia has possession right down in front. Dauber denying Mike Messenger, who's 7 points away from 100 in his career. Bouquet, a Whitby, Ontario native, the much-traveled netminder. 6th franchise and 8 seasons for Bouquet. Started his career sharing time with Dylan Ward in Colorado. And of course, Ward took that job. Bouquet then moved to Buffalo, was a primary man in 2018. You all know how that turned out. He left Buffalo. Matt Vince came in. Spent 2019 paired with Dougie Jamieson. Then in New England, now Albany, of course. And, well, you know how that turned out. Dougie Jamieson ended up as the #1 man. He's the Steve DeBerg of netminders here in the National Lacrosse League.
He's always been the guy that's been good, but not good enough in the eyes of the team and the staff to keep the starting job. He gets his opportunity here. And early to mid part of the year, he was top 2 or 3
right
in netminders. Now with the team going through their rough patch.
And sound bites.
Yeah, absolutely. And their losing streak a couple of weeks ago. It's been really tough for Bouquet in the standing in terms of goals, giving up a lot more goals, but probably still a career year for Alex Bouquet.
Coming off of a 5-8 record last year in Vancouver, 1196 goals against, 15 on the shot clock. Jackson. That was absolutely purposeful. Thompson got it. A word burner through the 5-hole of Bouquet. Oh, baby, Shane Jackson sends one off the boards because he can't find space. Thompson turns around and receives the wild pass off of the board. That was absolutely planned. I can tell you that for sure. Thompson ends up with his 38th goal of the year on one that brings smoke off the turf.
You're absolutely right. And particularly the replay, it was a planned pass. The replay doesn't necessarily show the pass. It was designed, rather than make a tough pass through a couple of sticks, throw it off the glass, allow Lyle to turn his back to the defender and effectively hit the reset button. He's able to make a 1-2 move and get a clean look on Bouquet. And more often than not, when Lyle Thompson has a clean look, he's going to find space.
Thompson to 86 points on the year now, 38 goals. Last year, remember, he had 47. That was a career high. Oh, baby.
Mark Matthews on the delayed penalty, pulling down Mike Manley.
Which is why Brett Dobson will head off the floor now. An empty net on the defensive end for Georgia. So Georgia, not a power play, but a man up. Again, the #1 man up club in the National Lacrosse League. Give off, extra pass, in! Georgia's offense absolutely rolling. It's 5-1.
Extra man paying dividends for the Swarm, able to make that extra pass, and Saskatchewan unable to defend, and Shane Jackson comes creeping through the blind side, and the extra pass, Jacko finds just the shortest of space. And take a look, see that cross there to Jackson, and even though help came in to try to seal off that near post by Kidd, Shane Jackson too quick of hands.
Shane Jackson with 2 goals and 2 assists on the evening. By the way, Shane Jackson not just scoring goals now at a high level throughout this successful Georgia Swarm stretch, but he has 29 saves, Shane Jackson does, in the last 5 games. Or 5 games in nearly 1 quarter. 2:36 mark, first quarter, and we have another big development here in Metro Atlanta. Alex Bouquet has been lifted.
Yeah, Alex Bouquet will be pulled to the bench by Jimmy Quinlan, and we'll get our first look at Lane Rushko. Only his 2nd game on the Rush roster. The Warman, Saskatchewan native, 6'1", 220.
Yeah, and of course the other big storyline is that he came off of the practice squad just this week, did Lane. And Rushka, of course, a Georgia Swarm draftee. 2:15 mark. First stanza. Church spins into the middle, puts a shot on Dobson, who makes the save. Neither team would be eliminated from playoff contention with a loss here today, but it would put their backs against the wall, surely, with 3 weeks to go.
One thing that Brett Dobson has really progressed over the course of the season is those outlet passes, those transition passes. And Iranigan unable to get on the end of it, played a little skip it with it, but the opportunity certainly was there.
Looking backhand was Bomber. Couldn't quite get it through. Got checked, went to the front side. Kicked off the pipe. Thompson there to clean it up. This is Q. No, I'm sorry. This is Q. Andrew, stutter step. Sealed out. Bomberry to Jackson. Shane works into the middle. Not this time. That was Seth Oakes, I beg your pardon. I knew that right-handed shot didn't look right. Now, what a first quarter here in Atlanta with 1:10 to play. It's Georgia 5, Saskatchewan 1. Georgia's high-flying offense off to a great start here in Metro Atlanta. We're now joined by Eddie Como. Coach, the offense doing what it's been doing with great proficiency over the last month.
Yeah, certainly moving the ball, creating opportunities. Our spacing's been real good, and we're bearing our chances. And I think that starts to the D end, though. Our D's playing really good defense, and Dobson's made a couple great saves. So it's full team effort, and we got to continue to push. There's no lead is safe in lacrosse.
All right, thanks, Coach. Appreciate you joining us.
Great, thanks, Chris.
Eddie Como closing in on 2nd all time as far as wins for a head coach in the National Lacrosse League, sitting on 120 entering play tonight. Saskatchewan, you see that goal margin in losing 5 of the last 6. Minus 22. A great mix of youth and veteran leadership for Saskatchewan, now going to be put to the test.
Bouquet back between the pipes for the rush, and Brendan Bomberry doesn't care who's in net, netting his 17th goal of the season.
2nd of the night for Bomberry to go along with 2 assists. Let's take another look.
Yeah, Mitch, look, that's his 18th goal of the season and just beats Alex Bouquet. And that overhead shot tells it all. Unmarked, coming through, charging in on the goalie.
Bouquet was guessing there as well. So Bouquet gives up 5, exits the ball game. Lane Rushka comes in for just a couple of possessions, and now Bouquet is back out there. Final 32 seconds.
That was
of
an
action, first stanza.
Sorry, 8-second violation on the rush.
Thank you.
Got to bring the ball across.
The ball movement in the last 6 weeks, 7 weeks for this club. Georgia, I mean, has been absolutely exquisite. I've got some numbers on some of the fine performers. Last 4 seconds.
Good job by Kidd to knock that ball away to save another great look from Lyle Thompson.
It's been another offensive clinic for the Georgia Swarm. Here in the first quarter, their next to last home game of this season, at least in the regular season, where Georgia leads Saskatchewan by a score of 6-1. A 5-goal lead for the Georgia Swarm. This is what Eddie Como had to say about it during the break.
These games are like though, right? I said last week, a lead at the end of a quarter is nothing. It means nothing, right? What matters is what we do in the next 5 minutes. Yes. So let's focus on the next 5 minutes. We know they're going to try to run. Let's make sure we're ready. Let's go, boys.
What do you make of it?
Makes my job easier. Next 5 minutes, look for Saskatchewan to run and the Swarm to stop Saskatchewan from running.
Wow, that's quite the prediction by you, Brandon. That's Brandon Joseph.
That's
I'm Chris
insight.
Yeah.
No, but that's exactly what Eddie has been talking about all year. Those meetings could mean nothing if you don't execute the plan going forward. And I think that's been the big thing. And this second quarter has been huge for the Swarm. You see the plus 18 goal margin. I got another stat for you. 55 goals in the second quarter. That is their best quarter over the course of the game.
Seth Oakes, all he does is collect multi-goal games, it seems. So if you see him get on the tally sheet tonight, expect a second or a third. Shot clock violation sends us back down the other way. Barnable slows down, allows his team to get set. And here come the Rush offensively.
The Rush having a little bit of confusion on which guy's supposed to be on the floor. Last guy finally gets on and involved in the play.
Matthews, a shot into the left shoulder of Dauber. Dobson makes the save. Official blows the play dead.
And what it was, it looks like it was a delayed penalty on the Swarm, and they were trying to get Bouquet's attention down at the other end. So they're trying to figure out guy 5 or guy 6 on the floor.
Georgia penalty,
Robert
2 minutes
Hudson.
holding the stick.
Holding the stick, 2-minute minor. So that's where the confusion came from Saskatchewan. They wanted Bouquet off to get that man up.
So Robert Hudson, who played in all 18 games for this club last year, his first NLL season, now on to the Pine. And there you see the opposite of the numbers I was mentioning earlier. Saskatchewan been back and forth this year, had some good stretches on the power play, but in totality, 10th in the league. Georgia been very good on the kill. And that's really been a number they've been good at all season,
And,
by the way.
And one number.
That went through, Ryan Church.
It'd be
on the tally sheet.
Nullified here, sorry about that, was their ability to score shorthanded. When Ryan Church puts a stop to that before I can even get my thought out. And we talked about in pregame, he was going to have to be the guy for the Rush. Gets his first goal of the night. And just as we take a look at the replay for Church, that's one of those true power play goals here, as it's just spacing and opportunity that the Swarm cannot make up for. As they rotate back over McIntosh, nobody fills that gap because you also have to worry about that downside guy for the Swarm. So Robert Church has a total free look on Dobson.
Robert now with 2 points on the night. And he's 3 points away from 700 in his career.
Another thing about that power play goal for Saskatchewan is they throw it all the way back. It'll be an over and back to the Swarm. That's why a lot in lacrosse and in hockey, you'll see the goal scorers play more of that wing position on the power play because it does give them more of an opportunity to get a guy out of shape, get a guy out of position, and capitalize.
Lyle. Pass off the cross of Jackson. Loose ball picked up by a man in green. They'll push forward. Great look ahead. Oh, baby! 6-3. There it is. Robert Church. 2 goals and an assist on the night. Now on 700 career points.
Yeah, just as quickly as the guys back in the studio put up that 40th goal graphic, they had to update the 41 for Robert Church, and just caught out on an island was McIntosh, trying to also defend 2. He's looking to try to get some help from Mike Manley, but good job of trailing by Austin Madronic, because that held McIntosh in a position where he had to worry about the dump back pass and a free look.
Church, by the way, now with his 41 goals on the year. There's a number in front of you as far as the league leaders are concerned. His 41 goals, already the second highest single season goal tally of his career. Remember, back in 18, he went for 47. He's had 6 goals of 6 games, I beg your pardon, of 4 goals or more this year. What a career he has had. A career, of course, that dates back to the Edmonton days. So a brand new ball game. Bomberry. Fans, want to remind you to follow the NLL on all of our social media channels for highlights and behind-the-scenes content. And we're now live on TikTok. Follow us at NLL_official.
And that shot that careened off of Bouquet by Bomberry, not a bad look. With a guy like Bouquet, you want to alternate high-low. You want to try to get him moving, worried about trying to make a jump on the shot. Listen, Alex Bouquet will understand he doesn't leave much space between the pipes. That's the benefit of Alex Bouquet. He's very skilled at doing what he needs to do to make up for the fact that he's not necessarily the quickest of feet in between the pipes. So getting him to go high-low is an opportunity for later on when you are a Swarm shooter to make him guess and make him move, because that second move is a little bit delayed.
Oak scoops it up and keeps possession for Georgia. How about that? Is that Brian Cole? It was Brian Cole. Spin move. Dish out. Jackson. Not this time.
Bouquet's really settled in after that tough first quarter. Great outlet.
Oh, baby, Ryan Church. Who gave him the dish? Was that Boudreau? I'll have to get another look if possible in the replay. That was an absolute dime, and Church is on the Hattie. 6-4. 3 straight for Saskatchewan.
Yeah, right up ahead, Barnable to Church, dropping a dime right in to Church, and Church taking advantage, finding the back of the net for his third, and that's just great timing there by Church to catch and find the angle on Dobson.
2 assists on the night now for Ryan Barnable. Another impactful rookie. He with 4 on the year. 3-0 Saskatchewan scoring run over 237.
Yeah, Ryan Church with that Hattie in just under 3 minutes.
Uh-oh.
But that's what he does. That's why he's the swizzle stick for the Saskatchewan Rush.
Georgia keeps possession as the rebound careened off of Bouquet. So Robert Church with his own personal 3-0 run to draw the Rush back to within 6-3 in the pass, or 6-4, I beg your pardon. Over and back to call as that one goes screaming past the Georgia Swarm teammate.
And because it was such a hard shot, it allowed the Swarm to get all their defenders in position.
Save for Dobson. McIntosh can push forward, and he is. Got a teammate, great pass, and the goal. Shane Jackson, as good as anybody in this league, and coming out of the front door, making that catch and scoring quickly.
Yeah, I see your Robert Church connection from Ryan Barnable, and I raise it to a Shane Jackson goal on the outlet pass from Jordan McIntosh. And that was a great job. Underappreciated effort there by Jerry Stotts. Jerry Stotts there sealing off, allowing Shane Jackson to get the hat trick there by getting into the body of the Rush defender.
27 on the year now for Jackson, goals-wise. He also has 3 assists tonight. He's the leading point collector on the evening. That puts him on 50 assists for the year. Shane Jackson, as much as anybody else, has absolutely exploded on this club. And that'll bring us to our next TV timeout. So Saskatchewan goes on a little 3-goal run to climb back to within 6-1. Georgia has answered from 6-1 to 6-4. And now Georgia with a tally and back to a 3-goal lead. Robert Church, 700 career points. Back inside of Sting City, a 3-goal game. Georgia with a 7-4 lead. We're joined by Jimmy Quinlan now. Coach, your club has been battling back all year long in so many ways. They've done it again here tonight.
Yeah, obviously not the start we wanted, but you know, we just got to kind of stick with the plan. We feel like there's some things we can clean up defensively and some areas we can kind of take advantage of offensively. So we really just got to kind of get back to playing the way we want to play and understand that it's not going to be an easy task.
Thanks, Coach.
Awesome.
So many teams in professional sports, they'll fold up to 10 after a 5-game losing streak. At the midway point, you're 3 games under 500. You know you're still going through some growing pains as a club, but they came out with that massive overtime victory last week to get back to 6-8, thanks to Mr. Church. Now here they are entering the final 4 weeks of the year, still with a chance to make the postseason. Shot on Dobson. That one might have been blocked right near the end of the shot clock, and Georgia has it back.
Tarbell gets it over mid-floor, and now we're going to see the methodical nature. Heard Eddie Camo at the start of the second quarter talk about the first 5 minutes. Not the most ideal first 5 minutes for him. Saskatchewan gets back into this contest, winning it 3-1.
Oh, it squeaked through. Are you kidding me? Well, when it's going well, it's just going well.
In baseball, we call that a ground ball with eyes.
I call that 2 aces on the flop.
As Lyle Thompson, not his prettiest of goals over the course of his career.
Find a way to describe that one.
I think he'll be the first to tell you that's not going to be one that he expects to be added to his highlight reel, but it still counts the same. As he just comes across, again, just failure to mark Lyle Thompson. You see that screen out right there in the middle of the screen by Brendan Bomberry and Alex Bouquet. When you start taking shots for granted, that's when it comes back to bite you.
Thompson on 2 goals and 4 assists. By the way, that's another assist for Shane Jackson. He's up to 4. He's got 7 points. The onslaught continues for Georgia's offense, up 8-4.
And that's what it's been for the Swarm over the course of now the last 8 games. You had Lyle Thompson at the start of this run. Then you had Andrew Q stepping up with high point totals. Now it's been Shane Jackson mixing it in. It could be any one of 3 guys. And then you had games where it was Seth Oakes or Brian Cole being the team leader in points. There's just many different ways for the Swarm to come at you.
Oh, he took it right out of his mitts. Did McIntosh. He'll look for a teammate. Now he'll push himself. I've got some numbers. I teased it a little earlier. Remember, the one loss that Georgia has had in this 7-game stretch was that 19-18 loss here in Atlanta. to Rochester, a ball game they absolutely could have won, quite obviously, but that's been part of the story for Georgia. Oaks. They've had 3 or 4 games of their 7 losses, their 8 losses, I beg your pardon, that the Swarm absolutely could have won. But in the last 7 ball games, not counting tonight, Andrew Q, 25 goals and 27 assists. Shane Jackson, 14 goals and 30 assists. LT, 20 goals and 31 assists. But you mentioned it, it's the other 3 as well that have been so good over this stretch. Brennan Bomberry, Seth Oaks, and Brian Cole. Shot near the end of the shot clock, saved by Dobson, right in his breadbasket, and here come the Swarm. Led by Wiedemann. Adam, he'll take that if they'll let him. Comizio. During this stretch, Brennan Bomberry, 11 goals and 17 assists after a slow start. Seth Oaks, 12 goals and 10 assists. Meanwhile, Brian Cole, 7 goals and 15 assists, including last weekend when Brian Cole went for 5 goals and 1 assist in one ball game. And then a goal and 5 assists in the opposite ball game. They've been getting contributions from everywhere. In other words, not just the big 3.
And conversely, for Saskatchewan during their slide, and even though it ended against Vancouver, it's been solely on Robert Church. There hasn't been that other guy to step up. So when you're able to neutralize a guy like Church, and Matthews can't just be the only other guy to step up. You're going to need a second, third, fourth guy to fill that when you take Church out of the game. That's where it's been tough for the Rush.
A third opportunity for the Rush on top of Dobson. He makes the save on the last, and here comes Jeremy Thompson.
And this is where the Swarm have been really good during this run. Changing up the tempo and the pace. A slower, more methodical. We're going to get a push from behind. It's going to give the ball back to the Swarm, even though it was an unforced error and an errant pass. They go slow at times, and they ramp the pressure back up, the tempo back up, and it really forces defense to play on their heels.
We'll have to watch the loose ball column tonight statistically. Jeremy Thompson now just gotten the updated number. Is just 3 loose ball scoop-ups away from 6th on the all-time list. He entered tonight 10 shy, of course. He needs 3 more. Bouquet with the save. Outlet. Bordeaux trying to chase it down. Jake will do just that. The rookie give off to a teammate. Shot on Dobson, tried for the quick timer. Rebound collected by Walter. Another rookie. 8 goals during the season. Oh, great look. Couldn't quite connect there with Marty Dinsdale, who has 11 goals of his own this year. Still loose. Georgia has it. 4-goal game. 4:40 mark. Great look. Miller can't finish. Zach Miller had an opportunity. Had 3 goals and 2 assists during this streak versus Philadelphia a few weeks back.
On that possession for Saskatchewan, as the Rush make their 17th save of the contest, they gave away what they're switched the mindset defensively for Lyle with the delayed double team there. So now if you're Lyle, the next time you get that, you can start playing for that double team, and you could start waiting until that extra pressure comes and finding the open man, and then normally out of that, 1 more extra pass, and you'll have a true open good look at Bouquet.
Oaks at 15 on the shot clock. Works into the middle. Oh, look at that. Jackson didn't see it coming his way as he was headed off the floor on a switch. McClellan denied by Dobson. Connor McClellan was looking for his 3rd tally of the year.
John Rannigan, just enough physicality to knock McClellan offline to prevent him from getting his own rebound, but also putting himself on the floor, and the rebound rolled right back to him.
Oh, what kind of difference has John Rannigan made for this team on the back end?
I think it's been emotional, but also physical.
Yeah, physical for the obvious reasons, but you're right, emotionally for some of these guys that have been around for a while in the Georgia Swarm colors, seeing Rannigan come back. Mike Messenger denied. He's now closing in on 100 points for his career. Crease violation, the call. And that'll bring us to our next timeout. Let's see if they're going to make a call here. The officials having a conversation about it. It looks like they're going to let it go, and we will, in fact, go to break here in Metro Atlanta. We got ourselves a 4-goal game. We're closing in on halftime on ESPN+. Back in Metro Atlanta, got ourselves a 4-goal game, 2:48 away from halftime. Matter of fact, coming up on the Guaranteed Rate NLL Halftime Report, we'll speak with our star of the first half, plus a special edition of NLL Coast to Coast as the guys talk to Georgia rookie goaltender Brett Dobson about the recent surge. And, of course, first half analysis from here as well. All that and more coming up at the break on the Guaranteed Rate NLL Halftime Report. Dobson has been good here today. Get his updated save tally coming up here in just a moment. That one's through. Right on cue. As if the lacrosse gods were listening. Reese Dutch. Dutch, as I mentioned a little earlier, acquired in early March from Colorado for a conditional 3rd or 2nd round pick, depending. Let's watch the goal. I got more for you.
Yeah, just off of that second chance opportunity, Dobson makes a save, gives a second possession to the Rush, and the reset goes right back to the top. And Reese Dutch, he's great from distance, very pinpoint accurate.
Second goal in a Rush uniform. Now needs 39 goals to reach top 10 all time. Needs 8 assists to reach top 10 all time. Needs 119 points to reach top 10 all time. What a career it's been for Dutch. Here he's brought his team back to within 3 goals. Oh, good look. Walter lost the handle, however. Has to chase it down. He's checked into the board ever so slightly. Ball still loose. Got ourselves a little bit of a fracas. Dobson helping out. Georgia comes out of the pile with it.
Yeah, it's all fun and games so the big stick comes in and is whacking in the back. But this is credit to what the Swarm were able to do in the first quarter. They ended the first quarter up 6-1. The Rush have played phenomenally in this second quarter. As we get a legal push from behind, a legal screen there. And they're still down 3 goals. And that's just a credit to what the Swarm has been able to do to start games during this run that they've been on, because Saskatchewan has dominated this second quarter in terms of getting the looks, getting the opportunity, and the good quality shots, but they're unable to fully close the gap.
Another breakaway opportunity. Barnable looks, shoots. Saved by Dobson.
That was great team defense on a break there. Rannigan and Cole there. Rannigan forcing Barnable to hold his line, and Cole coming out to defend and taking the angle to meet Barnable at the point of conflict and to aid his goalie. That's how you guard in that break scenario.
19th save for Brett Dobson. The rookie out of St. Bonaventure. Final 35 seconds. Oaks lost the handle, still loose. Scooped up by Thompson. Inching ever closer. This loose ball milestone. That one squeaks past Bouquet. Saskatchewan will have the final 20 seconds if they want it. We've got ourselves a timeout on the floor. That has been no doubt called by Jimmy Quinlan and the Saskatchewan Rush.
And it's been really tough for the Swarm on that possession, because you can tell, given the way the shot clock was and the game clock, they wanted to get a quick shot to try to have an opportunity to get the ball back for the final shot of the half, but now they concede that.
We're trying to give ourselves a little look in here in just a moment. There it is, Rochester and Albany. Oh, baby. Albany, of course, Rochester got off to that incredible start to the year. I believe it was 6-0 their start to the season. Now they've lost 3 in a row. They're starting to wobble a little bit. And of course, Albany's had a very, very tough year. They've just scored to up their lead on Ryan Hartley and the Rochester Nighthawks.
It's been all Albany in this contest. Started the game 3-0. And then before Rochester was able to get one back, Albany just kept piling on. And this is a Firewolves team that is playing seemingly inspired, given the fact that when we saw them here in Sting City earlier in the year, they were at that tipping point there, and it hasn't gone their way. 2-10 on the year.
That's a massive ball game of importance in the East standings. You know that folks in Philadelphia, Halifax, and of course here in Georgia watching that one. Doesn't seem as though they'll be able to catch Rochester, but if the Nighthawks lose tonight, fall to 9-7, now of course Georgia then would be one back in the loss column, as Halifax and Philadelphia would be as well. Matthews give off, great look. Topaz save. Clock winding down. Oh, and he got it through. Wait a minute. Let's say shuttle it through. What's this call?
They're going to wave it off. It looks like
after the time expired.
Yeah, they're going to say the ball crossed the crease after it expired. Quinlan can challenge this if he wants. We'll get the first look. Ball has to clear the line before time expires. Clock's at 0 before the ball's even shot. So clean view from the referees. Time expires. We'll go to half with the Storm up by 3.
Now what a first half it was. A couple of 6 and 8 teams trying to battle their way into the postseason, at least for now, trying to stay in the postseason mix. What are you seeing, Brandon?
I saw a red flag come from the Saskatchewan bench area. It is now in possession of our referee.
Well, after our look, that would not be the greatest of challenges for Jimmy Quinlan. Let's see. Now we have a conversation there. You see it. You wonder if our replay, I must admit to you, I'm not sure if our replay was on the house. Yeah, it was on in the house here. Quinlan must not have gotten a look at it if he is going to challenge this.
Well, somebody from Saskatchewan needs to text Jimmy Quinlan real quick and tell him, take it back. Take it back.
I don't think we're allowed to advocate for that, Brandon. For now, it's a 3-goal game. Coast to Coast is coming up next in the Guaranteed Rate Halftime Report. Let's hear the call.
Saskatchewan is throwing their challenge flag after the allotted 25 seconds. Therefore, the challenge is denied for being too late. We're in halftime.
Challenge was denied because it came too late after.
Wow.
The replay had come, so that will take us to halftime with an 8-5 Georgia lead. And an unhappy Jimmy Quinlan.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Right now, Shane Jackson is making his way over to our headset. What a first half it has been for Jacko. Shane Jackson, the 2020 National Lacrosse League MVP, is now with us. Shane, what a first half for you personally. 7 points with a hat trick. But man alive, I know you're a team guy. What an onslaught offensively it's been over the last month and a half for your club.
Yeah, we're playing for each other right now. We're sharing the ball. We're doing the little things right, so we got to keep that up.
Shane, Brett Dobson between the pipes has been phenomenal. Came into the game in the last 4 with an 83.9 save percentage. Talk about the rookie goalkeeper.
Yeah, Dauber's been unbelievable for us. I mean, you know, he puts in the work off the during the week, and you know, he's a student of the game. So we need him to keep going like he's been playing, and you know, finish off the second half.
All right, thanks, Shane. We appreciate you being with us. That's Shane Jackson with a hat trick and 4 assists in first half play, and his club leads 8-5 here at the half. It's halftime in Metro Atlanta. After these messages, the Coast to Coast crew gets us started on the Guaranteed Rate NLL halftime report as they sit down with Brett Dobson. That's next. Welcome to the Guaranteed Rate NLL halftime report from Gas South Arena here in Duluth, Georgia. We're at halftime between the Rush and the Swarm. The Georgia Swarm, without question, the hottest team in the National Lacrosse League currently. They've surged into playoff contention. And this week, the Coast to Coast team caught up with the young star, goaltender Brett Dobson.
Speaking of the Swarm, they are one of the hottest teams in the National Lacrosse League. One of the big reasons is goaltender Brett Dobson, who joined us now on Coast to Coast. Dauber, what's going on, brother?
Nothing much, boys. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you guys taking the time to have me on here.
Oh, you know, it never hurts to have one of the hottest young goalies in the NLL going. biggest and maybe simplest question is, what's changed for you guys in the second half of the season after that 0-7 start?
I think the addition of John Rannigan's a big part of that. I think, he injected a lot of life into the Swarm organization. Being a past championship, player on the team back in 2017 helps a ton. And I think, the addition of Mike Poole and Jordan Hall on the bench, helps kind of get, this group going. And I think also just kind of having that understanding of like, hey, we can either go one way with this or we can go another way. And we decided, to go the 6-1 route instead of the keep losing route, right? So, a combination of a lot of things definitely I think has gone into it, but I think also, just being confident in our abilities and everyone kind of starting to click together as well. And, when you get guys like Seth Oakes who are starting to find their strides as well, and, everybody on the DN making my job a lot easier, things start to click, and, offense has been rolling too.
Dauber, appreciate you, my man. Stay away from the fines this weekend. Have a lot of fun, and good luck against the Rush, brother. Keep this streak going.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I can't say I'll be staying away from the courts. I'll definitely have my dues this week.
We continue on in the Guaranteed Rate NLL halftime report. Here you see the famous ring drop here on Ladies' Night inside of Sting City. Let me tell you something, folks. Chaos is certainly the word to describe this. And these, of course, all containing codes inside of them. And then the in-house MC will read out the code, and if you win that code, you win a $7,500 ring. That was our lucky winner, Jackie, tonight. She'll take that code, the gift certificate that the Swarm give her. She'll take it off to the jewelry store, and they'll give her $7,500 diamond. Congratulations. What a great first half it was for not only that young lady, but of course for the Georgia Swarm as well. Plus, we didn't see any fights this year during the ring drop, which is always nice.
That normally happens here during the diamond drop here at Sting City.
We also didn't see much for fisticuffs in the first half. It was a lot of silky smooth offense. First quarter, especially for Georgia. Second quarter, now Saskatchewan started to find themselves offensively.
Yeah, absolutely. As we take a look at the first half stats, 6-1 was the advantage for the Georgia Swarm at the end of the first quarter, and then Saskatchewan making that run in the second quarter. But that's the benefit to getting out to those big leads. Georgia with 35 shots on Alex Bouquet, and some of them have trickled by. Bouquet's not going to be happy with that first half effort, but there for the Georgia Swarm to be able to keep that offensive onslaught going has been big for them in the last 8 games, where they've won 6 out of 7.
Second half coming up next from Metro Atlanta. '19th all-time meeting. The series tied at 9-9. 11th all-time meeting here in the state of Georgia. All-time the series at 5-5. And of course, these two teams got together back in 2017 to decide our league's championship. A dramatic Georgia Swarm championship win, of course, with the golden goal overtime winner. Now here in 2022-23, these two teams trying to move from 6 and 8 into the postseason. Mathematically, still very much alive in the NLL playoffs, both for automatic bids in their respective conferences or divisions, if you prefer, and of course for the wild card as well. Back alongside Brandon Joseph, I'm Chris Mooney. Thanks for joining us. Joel Kate, our producer director in charge of things this evening on ESPN+. An 8-5 Georgia lead, as you see, quite obviously. Georgia led at the end of first round play, 6-1. Fans want you to get ready for the ultimate showdowns as the March to May continues all month with intense matchups and playoff pushes. You will not want to miss a single moment of the excitement. Tune in and watch as NLL teams make the march to May. Now look, I make the joke all the time, Brandon, you know it's true. My math, not always the best. Let my wife do the math in the family. Oh, score! Story will have to wait. LT's back on the board. Lyle Thompson has just notched the hat trick this evening. Puts him on 7 points.
Yeah, Lyle Thompson, great move across the face of Alex Bouquet. And whether Lyle Thompson going straight ahead at you or going across your field of vision. Advantage Lyle Thompson. And you take a look here. This is what Lyle Thompson did, coming all the way from that far dot across Boudreau, and then Bouquet unable to track Thompson across. It doesn't really matter what you do, because if you move to follow the body of Thompson, he's going to go where the void is. So your best bet is almost what Alex Bouquet did. Hold firm and hope he misses. And Lyle rarely misses, and he didn't miss there.
40th of the year for Thompson. He's got 3.5 games remaining. Remember, his career high was set last year with 47 of all the great years he's had. Last year was his high in goals scored at 47, and he's got a chance to match that, now 7 shy. Thompson goes right in on Bouquet. Sends his shot high of Bouquet and the crossbar. And here comes Saskatchewan. If Saskatchewan wins tonight and Colorado loses, I believe, if my tie-breaking analysis, and again, math, folks, if they're correct, I believe that Saskatchewan will move into the 4th spot in the West. Saved by Dobson in the 5-hole. Conversely, if Georgia wins and gets to 7 and 8, they will move into a 3-way tie with Halifax and Philadelphia. And that, if the tiebreakers are right by my analysis, should put them currently in the playoffs in the 4th spot. Of course, both Halifax and Philadelphia off this week.
Yeah, the tie-breaking scenario for the Swarm, they lose the head-to-head to Philadelphia as we take a look at the standings. But in a 3-way tie, it's common opponents in the conference, and the Swarm actually have a better record in conference than Philadelphia and Halifax. So the Swarm benefit in a 3-way tie scenario, where a 2-way tie would not be as beneficial across both teams.
Matthews' shot deflected. Roll around down there on the south boards. 5 on the shot clock, picked up by Georgia. Jordan McIntosh with another loose ball. If Georgia's to make the postseason, they'll have a real shot of taking out all the teams in front of them. After tonight, remember, they've got Rochester, Philadelphia, and Halifax. And remember, Georgia came down to the last swing of the stick last year as they lost in overtime to Philadelphia, finished at 9-9 with Philly and Albany, and now Georgia went home on the tiebreaker. Jackson waved off, waved off. Meanwhile, Saskatchewan at 6 and 8, of course, and they got off to a great start to this year after closing hot last year. Remember how well they played in the last month of 2021-22. Dutch, give off. Finds his man in traffic. Is that Dinsdale? Still loose. Got his back turned to me. I beg your pardon.
Saskatchewan playing a man down in an offensive possession as Mike Messenger lost his helmet.
Nearly 4 minutes in. Bomberry sealed out. Oak to the top. This is Jackson. All the way across. Last second shot clock. Offering put on top by Thompson. Bouquet equal to the task.
Good defensive possession there for Saskatchewan there. Making sure they stayed really locked in the man scenario and not allowing anybody to run free and get a clean look.
Robert Church. Works around a screen. Gets into the middle. Oh, great look right back to him, and he scores. Oh, a great, great look. Marty Dinsdale. For Dinsdale, his 12th of the year, to go along with 16 assists. 1-1 in the 3rd quarter, 9-6 Georgia.
Yeah, Dinsdale, take a look on the roll there, just to give. Left Thompson on an island there, 2-on-1 as you see Dinsdale gets the step. Looks like on Robert Hudson. And the goal actually didn't come on the initial shot. It went off the crossbar, off of Dobson's back, and in.
First of the night for Dinsdale. Back to a 3-goal game. After this slow start again for Saskatchewan, they have outscored Georgia 5-3. Q. Great look. Saved by Bouquet, right leg. Oh, good defense there by Bomberry to jostle it loose. It's still free, and Bouquet wisely was watching the play, keeping track of it on that pipe, and came away with a loose ball.
Yeah, just that confusion. Saskatchewan was not going to have enough time to get it across. So they just fire it down. They had the 8-second. They were down to about 6 or 7 at that point. So wasted possession there for Saskatchewan.
Oakes tries to lay the screen for Thompson. Give off Cole right down in front. Now it's been a very quick first, 5 minutes or so of third quarter action. Each team with a goal apiece. 3-goal game. The March to May is brought to you by NLLshop.com, a Fanatics experience, officially licensed everything, and by Guaranteed Rate. Now more than ever, you need the best. Back here in Duluth, Georgia, in the northeast corridor of the sprawling Atlanta Metroplex, we got a lot of guys that are on the verge of potential milestones. We've mentioned Andrew Q, 9 points from 200 in his career. Jeremy Thompson closing in on 6th all-time in loose balls. As a matter of fact, he has just eclipsed, they just updated the statistical number, and now we have it. Jeremy Thompson is now 6th all-time in loose balls in league history. Matt Beers, by the way, defensively, you saw him out there on the floor just a moment ago. First, Saskatchewan down, rush, cannot score on Dobson.
Great communication there by Rannigan and Dobson, 2-on-1.
Oh, baby. What a job that was by Messenger. Mike, by the way, 12 loose balls from 7 points from 100 in his career. But Matt Beers down on the defensive end. I got to make sure to mention this here because I've tried a couple of times, but the action's just been too furious. He's now 10 loose balls away from 1,000 in his career. Give off, squirts loose. Rush have it back. Yep, violation. Back the other way.
We've seen this a couple of times throughout the game on both these teams. A little bit of trouble securely getting the ball in the cradle. I think it's just more knowing the benefit of trying to get out in the transition and getting that extra step that they're not seeing the ball into their cradle.
Off the board, Zach Miller right into the back of a defender. Oh, baby, that has got to just kill the captain, Ryan Dilks. That one hit him square in the middle of his back.
They're going to call.
Whistle blows the play dead. I missed the call, my friend.
Shot clock violation. Just the shot clock reset. Before, and the officials didn't call for a reset.
Not funny, but Dilks trying to get off the floor a moment ago. Ouch, babe, that must have killed. Church scoops up the loose ball off of his own miss. Sends it up to the top in Keenan. Ryan gives off to Matthews. Mark has his pass deflected. Dinsdale tries to make a move. Now wants a screen. Tries to hit Messenger down in front. No, that was Clark Walter he tried to hit in front, I beg your pardon. Pinned on the boards. 7-minute mark coming up. Shot clock at 5.
Robert Church had a hat trick in about 2.5 minutes. 2:37 to be exact in the second quarter. The Swarm have done a good job of making sure that Church has not entered the stat book in terms of goals since.
It's always dangerous if you're a team playing Church on Easter weekend. I'm sorry.
Very popular player on Easter weekend.
I'm sorry. Not even going to ask me how long I've been sitting on that one, huh?
Nope, not going to let this go on. And another great shot.
And there's a loose ball for Beers.
Zach Miller, he's had trouble staying healthy and finding his game since he's joined the Georgia Swarm. And hasn't been out on the floor a lot tonight. But in the course of the games, the shifts that he had, he has made the most of. A couple of goals during the streak for the Swarm. Zach Miller, he picks his opportunities, but normally, more times than not, they're very good shots.
Dutch from deep, his shot is blocked. Believe that was Wiedemann who it careened off of. And now we'll head back the other way after the shot clock violation. He goes hobbling off.
Been great defense by both these clubs here at the start of the second half.
Boy, you're not lying. 1-1 in this third quarter if you're just tuning in. 3-goal Swarm lead, led 6-1 at one point. Thompson to Jackson. Jacko looks for space. Give off to Cole. Oh, Cole with a great look over to Andrew Q. Couldn't get the connection right outside the crease.
Opportunity created by a great double screen there by Cole and Q.
Bobby Kidd the third. Gives off to Jared Smith. And they'll work the change. Get the offensive guys out there. Church still scoreless since that run. As Brendan mentioned a moment ago, hasn't scored since 4:06 of the second quarter. Thompson slides to his right and makes a tremendous save.
Yeah. Highlight save for Brett Dobson. He had one early in the third quarter with a great kick save. Another great save by Dobson. You're only asked to make about 2 or 3 of those a game, and they can be game-changing, pivotal saves. And Dobson, 2 for 2 so far.
Zach Miller now out there offensively for Georgia. Works as a cutter, standing behind the rack as we speak. Q will see him no doubt, although he's being flanked by a defender. Bomberry sealed out, has to put a shot on top of Bouquet, and the save is made. Really good defense there by Ryan Barnable.
Aggressive back screen.
Madronic. Absolutely. Madronic pushed Ethan Riggs into his own teammate. Scoop up. Look out. One-on-one, and the save is made. Wiedemann denied, but a good job by the defender to get back as well and alter the shot.
Yeah, Ryan Dose getting out there and just altering the shot of Wiedemann. Wiedemann wanted to bring his body across the face of Bouquet and then sneak the stick back in that area to Bouquet's right. Dukes did a great job of getting down on Wiedemann to prevent the motion back.
Matthews got underneath his defender and used his big frame to work into the center, but Dobson saw it coming, makes the save. Brian Cole yet to get on the tally sheet, at least goal-wise.
Our next stop is going to be a media break, but none of these defense.
Try for the dunk, or the wraparound. It went in, but they'll wave it off. I'm not quite sure why, I must admit.
We're going to get an immediate stoppage.
Don't be surprised if we see a replay or a challenge flag, I beg your pardon. Yeah, looks like they're going to go to break, but they may review this during. As we went to break, we were questioning whether or not that last opportunity for Georgia was a goal. By the way, of course, Eddie Cuomo does not have a challenge left in his kiln to challenge this play. I misspoke a moment ago. Let's take another look.
Yeah, he used the challenge on the Madronic goal in the first. Because Bouquet is moving and the net is off its mark, the referee signaled that the ball would not have cleared if the net was in place. It would not have cleared in between the pipes.
And of course, this is what's at stake. You see, if the playoffs started today, neither of these clubs would be in. A wild card would come from the number 4 seed out west. And of course, both of these teams trying to inch up the ladder, the playoff standings. And again, if my math's correct, if either of these teams win tonight, well, Saskatchewan needs a win and a Colorado loss. Georgia needs just a win to get into playoff positioning. Of course, we got a long way to go, 3 weekends after this. The March to May in its final 4 weekends. Great behind the back. Thompson! The great Lyle Thompson. 4 on the night. And a 4-goal lead.
Yeah, Lyle got the goal. But as we take a look at this replay here at Sting City, it's going to be Brendan Bomberry with a little sweetness right to Lyle into the back of the net, the behind the back to Lyle. One touch in the back. And now the Swarm back up to a 4-goal advantage.
That'll end a little bit of a scoring drought for Georgia. There you see the offensive brain trust for Georgia. Not just the big three of Q, Jackson, and Thompson, of course, but contributions from this man, Brian Cole, Seth Oakes, and of course, Brendan Bomberry. Great look as Cole tries to hit Bomberry. Jackson picks it up, tries a quick whipper right down on top of Bouquet, who's equal to the task.
All the attention to Lyle. Lyle going to the ground, able to make the pass, still creates a scoring opportunity or a scoring look for the Swarm, and that's what makes Lyle Thompson so special. He has 3 rush players guarding him.
Brendan Bomberry shaken up noticeably over on the Georgia bench. Saved by Dauber. He'll make a roll out of it. Look like my 5-year-old down there. There you see the scoring proficiency that we have in this ball game here tonight. Some of the best in our game today. There it is. Zach Miller. A few weeks ago, Zach went for a hat trick and 2 assists versus Philadelphia. That's his 7th tally of 2022-23.
And we talked about it a couple of possessions ago with Zach Miller. He has not taken a plethora of shots over the course of the year, but he's taken them when their opportunity has presented himself, and he's capitalized on them. Just getting out of the reach of Bobby Kidd III. And 3-3 for the Swarm. Gets his goal for the night.
Georgia maintains a lead that they have not relinquished this evening. Miller got out to a slow start. Did not play last year, you may recall. Draft pick of the San Diego Seals. He was acquired by Georgia for a 2nd-round pick in the 19 draft. Speaking of draft picks, here's Madronic. An errant shot that was altered. Now, wait a minute now. Saskatchewan says that they believe they should have possession. I agree.
Now, Comizio altered the shot by hitting the stick, but the ball never touched a Swarm player.
All right. I stand corrected. I trust your eyes better than mine. Good save by Bouquet.
And that was a shot to make sure that the Swarm ensured they had last shot of the 3rd quarter. In case you were wondering why Jackson just ripped it from far. Soft defense, had the look, but ensured you get a 2-for-1 opportunity.
Final 20 seconds of this 3rd stanza.
And with that, I fully expect Dobson to be trailing to play if the Swarm are able to secure an offensive possession out of this.
4 on the shot clock. Gotta hurry. He doesn't know. There's the shot. There's the scoop up. Still 5 seconds. Dobson is headed for the bench. Here come the Swarm. Gotta hurry though. Cole has no idea. And that will be the end of the frame. Well, a far lower scoring 3rd stanza than its predecessors. It was 6-1 at the end of 1 with Georgia out in front. We had 6 combined goals in the 2nd quarter, but the 3rd, defense was the story. A 2-1 Georgia quarter and a 10-6 lead after 3 in Metro Atlanta. Tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern, the TSN Game of the Week is in Calgary for a West Conference clash between the Roughnecks and Panther City. Don't miss any of the action on TSN. Well, that'll be an interesting matchup for Calgary as far as the playoff standings concerned. PC trying to move up the standings in the West. And of course, we have a big one here tonight. Both of these teams clamoring, trying to save their seasons at 6-8, potentially a wild card team. Georgia, of course, well, either could get to the 4 seed inside of their respective conferences. Georgia started at 0-7. They've won 6 out of the last 7. With a bevy of winnable losses on their slate as well. Saskatchewan started 2-1 and 5-3, and 2 of their 3 losses were overtime setbacks. Then the 5-game losing streak, and then of course last week, Robert Church's overtime golden goal eliminated Vancouver from the playoff race, kept Saskatchewan in it, ending the 5-game losing streak. Both clubs at 6-8. Back alongside Brandon Joseph, I'm Chris Mooney.
That opening faceoff from the fourth quarter came at our Kyle Hess, Nicole Palumbo real fast over there between the benches.
Can Georgia do it again? Or can Saskatchewan win another dramatic ball game on consecutive weeks?
We talked about it in the second quarter with the Swarm being their best quarter, 55 goal score. Well, the fourth quarter, closing time for the Saskatchewan Rush, their best quarter at 50 goals scored this season in the fourth.
5-goal game.
Just enough body to knock the ball out of the cradle of Jordan McIntosh by Clark Walter.
Matthews with it back. Dinsdale gives off. Shot from Church. No good. Dinsdale once again. Denied again by Dobson. He's been so good after seeing so many second and third opportunities from the Rush offense off of rebounds.
If I had one word to describe Brett Dobson's play over the last now 8 games, it's been comfortable. He looks a lot more comfortable.
I mean, is it possible they're going to go from Poulin to Dobson as a stalwart between the pipes for this franchise? I don't want to put too much pressure on the kid. I'm just saying, just tossing it out there.
It's a guy.
Oh, he lost it.
Must have a hole in the bottom of his cradle.
The Easter Bunny jumped out there and knocked it right out.
It's a situation where Brett Dobson, everybody was so high on Dobson coming into the season that they knew his ability. It just almost seemed like he had to have confidence in his ability coming out of St. Bonaventure.
He's a rookie. Takes time. About 2.5 into the fourth stanza. Thompson, look out! Saved by Bouquet.
This is where the third quarter actually ends up hurting you if you're the Rush.
Oh, baby. An absolute right-handed missile. Off the stick from Austin Madronic. Vapor trails in Sting City off of that one.
He got the first goal for the Rush way back in the first quarter. Gets his second with 12:21 left to go in the game. And the point I was getting to, the third quarter where the defense was hot and heavy, takes you out of that offensive rhythm. You're going to have to try to find it to get back in there. And Madronic, he didn't really need an offensive rhythm when you had that type of shot.
He's had a good rookie year. Couple of hat tricks this year. Had a 5-point night versus Vancouver back on February 25th, part of a hat trick night. So he's up to 12 tallies on the year. Drive in on Bouquet, who has seen 40 shots tonight. Has 29 saves, quite obviously. Meanwhile, Dobson with 33 saves on the evening. Lead ahead. Jared Smith, give off, goal! Saskatchewan scores! Church is back on the board. It's a 3-goal game at 11:43.
Yeah, Jared Smith was the first one out the door. Took the attention of the Swarm defense. And then the trailer, you see him getting on the floor now. Robert Church gets his 4th of the night.
.43rd of the season for Church. Robert already tonight has passed the 700-point plateau for those of you that were not with us earlier. 700 career points. Now, by the way, he's just 2 goals away from 300 in his career. He needed 6 coming into the night. If he gets to the sock trick tonight, it'll be quite the story, and we'll be headed for quite the finish here in Duluth. Thompson tries to sneak one on Bouquet. Boudreau. He'll slow down instead of push. Georgia been trying all year long to increase their defensive depth. Part of the reason that Rannigan was brought in. Lost a man early in the year in Jeff Henrik, who they really believed was going to be a defensive star for this club. So they've been rotating guys in and out in a strategic way defensively. Dinsdale denied by Dobson. Georgia going to need that defensive depth throughout the end of this ball game, because you know the rush is coming.
And for the Swarm, it's been stopping those mini runs. No matter when they come, that has been a problem early in the year. That 7-game losing streak, it was just a game of giving up a huge run. You see the makings of it so far with the rush early in this 4th quarter. Swarm looking to try to get a goal.
And he does! Right at the end of the shot clock. Boy, Brandon Bomberry, one thing you've noticed out of him when you see Georgia a lot is that, yes, he's still got that fiery outside of the crease ripper from deep, just in front of the front line. But man alive, over the last month, a lot more of finesse right on top of the rack.
Yeah, a lot more touch from Bomber. You see, early Brendan Bomberry would have fired that without an angle on Bouquet. Holds up his shot, dumps it behind the net, gets rewarded with the give back, and just that quick touch. And slowing his game down, he's actually sped up his stick.
Back to a 4-goal game. For Bomberry, by the way, that'll put him on 5 points for the evening. Check that. I beg your pardon. That's going to be the hat trick for Bomberry.
And most importantly, you stop the Saskatchewan 2-0 run to start the 4th quarter.
6 points on the night now for Bomberry. Bounce shot, oh baby, Bouquet. Put his right knee in the dirt and made the save at the very last moment. Oh baby, that was oh so close. And what a great stop that was for the Rush. Brother, they needed it. 9:26 remaining in the ball game here in the Deep South. The Rush, well, they need just that scoring-wise, down by 4. Four-goal game here in Metro Atlanta. 9:26. A live look at the East standings. Both Halifax and Philadelphia off tonight. Georgia trying to get on 7 wins. Rochester and Albany meeting tonight. Tanner Thompson just scored a few moments ago. Put himself on the hat trick and put Albany up by 2.
I think everybody's been focused on that 4th position in the East with Philadelphia, Halifax, and Georgia. A loss here from Rochester opens up potentially that 3rd position in the East. They would fall to 9 and 7 in the East, and all of a sudden, another spot in play. Now you have 4 going for 2.
And that would be a 4th consecutive loss for Rochester. And if I'm remembering correctly, 3 and 7 in their last 10 for the Nighthawks. Of course, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, Georgia wins tonight. They will move into the number 4 spot in the East Conference, holding the 3-way tiebreaker with Philadelphia and Halifax. They lose the tiebreaker with Philadelphia, own the tiebreaker with Halifax. Kind of a round-robin deal, much like what, well, frankly, kept Georgia out of the playoffs last year.
And most importantly for the Swarm, if you're everybody on this club, the schedule giveth, well, taketh away, and it giveth as well, as the Swarm control their own destiny.
That's right.
From here on out. This game, moving forward, they control their own destiny, whether or not they make it in the playoffs. You win out, you're in if you're Swarm. And don't think for 1 second, everybody involved in this organization doesn't know that.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it Rochester, Philadelphia, and Halifax the rest of the way for Georgia? And so, again, those are all the teams that we've talked about. And if you believe Georgia is vying for the wild card, which would come from out west, well, that's why this ball game is big for both of these teams, because obviously the Rush in the running for that spot as well. First place in their conference is out of reach as well, but they believe they can still get to the 3 seed in the West. Albany, by the way, has just scored once again and now has taken a 12-9 lead on Rochester. There you see it. There's the schedule for Georgia moving forward. I think I said Philadelphia a moment ago. I promise you I meant Albany. See, and there you go. There it is for Saskatchewan as well. Colorado, Vegas, Halifax, all 3 of those games, very winnable games for Saskatchewan. There's no doubt about it. Of course, the Colorado ball game will be oh so important for them. Two teams inside of a light rebuild, or a light retooling, if you will, since their championship caliber days of just a few years ago. Barnum will give off. Shot on Dobson, off to his left. Kareem's off the board. 4-goal game at 12-8. And we've just gone sliding past the 7-minute mark.
For the Swarm, you have to feel, if you are the players on the floor for the Swarm, you have a number in mind that you can get to. If you can get to 14, you have great confidence that Saskatchewan can't match that number. So that's what you're shooting for if you're the team with the lead late as you get past halfway to go in the fourth quarter. You're shooting for a number that you feel the other team can't get to in their best case scenario.
One more note on the playoffs, so as to not belabor the point. Again, that's what's great about the schedule here. Down the stretch, it's off the pipe for Matthews. Still loose. Dobson comes out of the rack. It's still loose. Now it's behind and trapped on the netting. Georgia has it back.
Yeah, Mark Matthews and Jake Boudreau ended up tangling with each other. I don't think either one knew who had the ball in their cradle. I think it was in the cradle of Mark Matthews. Dobson and another Swarm player go and knock it free, or else Dobson was out of position away from his net.
Neither of these teams would be eliminated from the playoffs with a loss here tonight. So if Saskatchewan is not able to come back in this one, they dropped to 6-9, but they'd still only be, what, about 2.5 games shy of Colorado. But again, the Mammoths do play tonight. So this is a big night for the West Conference standings. Oh, an errant pass, a little miscommunication there. Chase down, look at the save by Dahmer! Brett Dobson caught that one right in the net. He took it right away from Bobby Kidd III.
We mentioned it earlier, 2 or 3 saves a night. That's what you ask your goalie to make an amazing save to help you win ball games. Dobson 3 for 3 tonight, and that's why the Georgia Swarm have an advantage here.
That is such an underrated save. For him to stick his net out there, not go with the paw, not go with his shin, or to slide over in place and potentially just throw his shoulder into it. Instead, very, very quickly, he just flicked the net out there from his stick and caught it right in the basket. Down to 4.5 minutes remaining during this possession. Georgia, of course, has moved very deliberately over the last 3, 4, 5 possessions.
You're going to make sure that that shot clock is under 10 seconds before you shoot.
They're going to let him play. McClellan, saved by Dobson. Brett Dobson standing on his head tonight. 4-goal game, 4:19 remaining in the ball game, and we'll take a look at a couple of the finest for the rookie netminder tonight. Brett Dobson trying to help will his team to victory. It's been a great ball game here in Sting City between two teams that want to win in the worst way. In fact, it's time now for tonight's Fanatics Turning Point. And we go back to the very beginning of the ball game when Georgia set the tone.
Yeah, that Shane Jackson goal was the second goal of the first quarter, power play goal. And that's when the onslaught continued for the Swarm. Part of a 6-1 first quarter for the Georgia Swarm. In a game that they've never trailed, that's why it is our Fanatics turning point.
Blue and yellow start with the possession out of the break. Crowd on the edge of their feet, the edge of their seats, knowing how big a victory would be tonight here for their home club. No doubt those watching up in Saskatoon feeling the same way for good reason. Well, we were talking about it at the break. We both expect that Saskatchewan has certainly one last push in them.
And they're going to start getting their extra attacker on with 3:45 left to go. Net's empty on the Saskatchewan end, 6-on-5, as they look to try to get back some of these goals.
Matthews comes up with a loose ball. Mark give off, that pass is stolen. Bouquet racing back. Wiedemann trying to close in on him. Good job by a defender to empty out and slow down the push for the Swarm. So that's Boudreau.
That's not Bouquet back out there. That's Lane Rushka going back out. Bouquet, as we talked about it earlier, a little bit bigger guy, a little bit slower getting in and out of the pipes. So Rushka is going to be the guy getting out there on the empty net scenarios.
Makes sense, doesn't it? If Rushka comes out and he's out of sorts as the backup, if he's a little bit rusty, still, you give up a goal if you're the rush here, and it's probably finito. So you need that athleticism and his ability to dump out. Now, though, Rush in a little bit of trouble as we head down to the 2.5-minute mark. Georgia with possession, up by 4. Thompson and his Swarm looking for what would most likely be a dagger. Jackson can't connect. Rushka checking, and now he will rush off the floor. Got to score here if you're Saskatchewan.
Yeah, generally you start pulling the goalie with as many goals down with minutes left in the game. Figure you take 1 minute to try to get that look there.
Uh-oh. Out to the center. Adam Wiedemann, exclamation point. The hottest team in the National Lacrosse League may have just notched another tally in the win column. Incredible, this comeback, this turnaround in the season. It's incredible.
Yeah, you would have had to been famous Canadian sprinter Ben Johnson to stop Adam Wiedemann from getting that empty net. It's just the ricochet went too far out, and there was a little bit of delay. Rushka trying to get out of the bench area and making sure that they had the correct numbers on there, so it wouldn't have been a penalty, which would have sealed the game either way.
Adam Wiedemann's 7th tally of the year, the former Belmont Abbey man, may have just sealed the victory for the Swarm.
It looks like we're going to get a loose ball push. Nope, a timeout once this Rush got possession.
Believe they're going to give this one to Eddie Comeau, who will collect his 121st victory tonight. The East standings as we speak. If you believe Georgia's going to hold on to this one, and almost certainly it looks like they will, they'll be 7-8 on the year. Absolutely incredible. This is what the bracket would look like. They would move into the 4 spot and would face Toronto in the opening round, whom they faced the last time they made the postseason in the opening round. That was here in Metro Atlanta. Brandon, you and I were on the play-by-play of that ball game, by the way. That was a Toronto win.
Toronto won, yeah. If you take a look out in Rochester, it is Albany with a 3-goal advantage.
Oh boy.
As Eastern 3 moves closer to that cut line in play there. Only the first two teams feel comfortable as they've clinched. So now everything is wide open in the East.
Meanwhile, they're feeling good in the bottom of the West standings right now. If this holds, of course. That one gets through Dauber into the back of the net. That is Keenan. Yes, Ryan Keenan, who entered tonight 6 assists shy of tying a career high. Now Keenan, 5 assists shy of tying a career high, and he has a goal on the night.
Well, now you have no choice if you're the Rush here. Just take a look at the Keenan goal. Just off the stoppage play. That timeout was charged to Saskatchewan. Just getting that clean look with the man-up advantage. You're going to be empty net the whole way through, I believe.
18 goals, 42 assists for Keenan on the year, playing his 94th game career here tonight. Jeremy Thompson wins the faceoff, but his pass is batted away. Minute and a half remaining. 4-goal game. Can the Rush do it? Don't have a lot of time for deliberation offensively. Expect Matthews to drive. Nope, he'll give off to Keenan. Is this Church? Yes, it was.
You need to move a little bit quicker if you're Saskatchewan there.
Cole lost it on the spin move as he was checked in the center line. Still loose. Scooped up by Jared Smith. Smith will push it 63 seconds. Matthews finds a teammate. Church denied by Dobson.
They defended that one with Cole on the floor at mid-floor. So now he takes it across the line, and now the Swarm can just run the timeout on the shot clock.
The celebration is beginning here in Sting City. Georgia on pace to win for only the 3rd time in 8 ball games here at their building, in their barn. The win, of course, will be their 7th in the last 8 ball games. The only loss, a 1-goal game to Rochester. That wild 19-18 ball game here in Atlanta. It'll be a 5-game winning streak as well. The hottest team in the National Lacrosse League, the Georgia Swarm, has done it again. Well, I have to tell you, this is absolutely unbelievable. This team never surrendered. They never gave up. You go down in the tunnels after these ball games, you talk to the players, they kept their spirits up. They said, we're going to keep working, we're going to keep grinding. The schedule will get easier. We know that we can turn this thing around, and they've done just that.
Georgia Swarm started the season 0-7. They are now a playoff team as the standing stand right now.
Could end up being one of the great turnarounds in league history. With that, we'll take our break. When we come back, we'll have our final player interview and wrap things up from Metro Atlanta on ESPN+. Back at the Gas South Arena here in Duluth, Georgia, we go straight down to the floor where the Georgia Swarm have a 13-9 victory, and we're joined by Lyle Thompson. 4 goals and 4 assists tonight, so 8 points on the evening. Lyle, listen, I'm gonna be really candid with you here. At 0-7, we all knew this team was not as bad, quote unquote, I'm doing the air quotes here, as 0-7. But have you ever experienced a turnaround like this? 7 out of 8, sure. Remarkably better play, sure. But you guys have been in so many ways dominant in 7 of these last 8 ball games. Have you ever been a part of something like this?
No, I can't say I have. I mean, I can't say I have, but at the same time, it's not unexpected. I mean, everyone in our locker room trusts in each other. We trust in the team, and we have from the start. I mean, you know, you got a new group of guys, you got a somewhat of a young team. You kind of just have to trust the process at that point, and that's something we did, and you know, it got us where we are right now.
You're a former MVP, Shane Jackson, a former MVP, but you have guys like Andrew Q, Brendan Bomberry stepping up, Seth Oakes, Brian Cole. These guys where it's any given night, it can be 3 or 4 different Georgia Swarm players. Just talk about what it is like when you guys are clicking as you are in offensive cylinders.
It's confidence. It feels good. You know what I mean? Like you don't feel any pressure. You know, as someone in my sort of role that has to come out and overproduce. I trust in my teammates. I trust in, you know, my right side, my left side, and it helps when you have, you know, big nights from Q or Bomber. You know, anybody can sort of go off any given night, like you said. So having that gives us a lot of trust and a lot of confidence when we play.
Last one for you, Lyle. Brett Dobson has been getting his flowers all week. He was our coast-to-coast interview at halftime. You have a rookie there between the pipes, and he's just played phenomenal, standing on his head night in, night out during this run.
Yeah, Dauber's a beauty. He's you know, he's another rookie, and we give a lot of trust in him. And what he's doing on the back end here gives us a lot of confidence, you know, when we run on the floor. So it helps big time.
Lyle, we appreciate you being with us again tonight. Have a restful week as we get ready for another big one next week, and the week after, and of course the week after. The playoffs have already started. Thanks, Lyle.
Thank you.
Lyle Thompson joining us here at the Gas South Arena. Let's take a live look now at the East standings in the National Lacrosse League. Toronto and Buffalo, of course, have already clinched playoff spots. Rochester has lost tonight, or is at least on the verge of losing tonight. A one-goal game, as a matter of fact. They're 9-6. If they can't come back, they'll fall to 9-7. And as you saw, Georgia, Philadelphia, Halifax, all at 7-8.
Flip over to ESPN Plus. Watch the ending of that Albany-Rochester game.
This is what the bracket would look like if things stayed this way. Georgia would open up the one-game opening round of the playoffs. Never mind that. I'll tell you what I think about that another day. But Georgia would take on Toronto in the opening round of the East playoffs. What a night it was for the Georgia Swarm. What a night it was for their offensive firepower and their star rookie, Brett Dobson. Once again, our final score, 13-9, Georgia with a victory. For Brandon Joseph and our entire crew, I'm Chris Mooneyham. This has been a presentation of the National Lacrosse League in association with Freedom Broadcast Studios. NLL action continues on ESPN Plus with 2 other games underway right now. Every NLL game available this season on ESPN Plus. And with that, we bid you adieu from Duluth.